Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Well, this week we're kicking off Wave 2, Part 2 of the Gridman Universe collaboration that began just last week in a rather shocking turn of events that picked up right after the third run of the Rockman Battle Network collab just ended. So people are just a little rusted for resources at this point, but we still have lots more stuff incoming to even recoup those and collect some of these limited time models. And not just that, we also have some really interesting news going through this month as well. Highlight not just the spearhead for the Gridman collab as a whole, but also saw some popular reruns of very popular fan favorites that we actually have not seen for a while, if I'm being completely honest with you. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced for this week as Part 2 of the Power Up Gridman Universe collaboration with Medarot. Starting up with the gacha banners for this week, we see the introduction of GDM-02, so slightly out of order, model name Kaiser Grid, with a kit of Self-Restore, Inferno, Microwave, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Revenger. Now, you guys are looking at Self-Restore and asking just what is this exactly? And to explain it briefly, it basically is like All Restore for Self, or even Rebirth is a better way of putting it, but instead of getting 10% HP back per part, you instead get 50%, which means you have just a little bit more HP to keep yourself going on the side without getting hammered just as easily right after you come back. In addition to him, we also have rerun of the ever-popular Emperor Beetle type, Pt.2 Kaiser Beetle, with a kit of Power Rifle, Long Shot, Gatling, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Heavy Arms. And anyone who knows Kaiser Beetle and the powerful might this model offers also knows that he is capable of meta changing. And in this form, he trades his kit out for Giga Gatling, Crossfire Set and Release, changes his leg type to Wield, and his leg ability to Weapon Master, which gives him even more versatility across most terrains he can be solid on, and even more opportunities for high-end artillery while he's on the field. Then, last but not least, we still have the ever-popular and well-loved and iconic weapon of mass destruction, making a rerun as well, WEA-01 God Emperor, with a kit of Break, Hyper Missile, Laser, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of Auto Charge. So as you see here, we have a lot of very high artillery, high power shooter types this week, which means it's going to be a very, very good week for all you KBT fans and long-range combat fans out there to make sure that you can capitalize on collect as many of these parts as possible. Naturally, of course, the previous models such as Luminous Stag or even Full Power Grid will be sticking around just a little bit longer through the duration of the first wave of this event. Of course, Full Power Grid and Kaiser Grid will be sticking around to the end of the month roughly because they are collab models, but I would also recommend going after either Full Power Grid or Kaiser Grid first, because naturally they are collab models and do have more of a time limit on them compared to other models that are offered thus far. With Fierce Battles this week, we actually see a whole bunch more of the rather unconventional and lesser seen returnees for a while, which will make this a very eventful week all the same. First up and starting the line for the Fierce Battles, we have FEI-01 Flapper Kung Fu, with a kit of Guard Boost, Double Break Hammer, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Rumbling. Behind her, we have the ever-popular and equally as iconic SAM-0 Samurai, with a kit of Full Charge, Double Beam Sword, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Endurance. And then last but not least, HPP-01 Hippopotancia, with a kit of Conceal, Double Break Hammer, Wield Legs, and the leg ability of No Guard. So right off the bat, you can see there's a lot of very, very useful skills that can be had here and be put to good use. Flapper Kung Fu and Hippopotancia both for Break Hammer, even if they are heavy parts, that is honestly something very good to make sure you have and hold on to. primarily for the fact that you actually don't see break hammer on female bots all too often, which means this will give you yet another bout of flexibility with team builds and being able to factor in melee-based heavy punish on the team without really having to sacrifice for it. Samurai as well basically is a fully synergized kit by himself, which is not only just well synergized, but also a free full charge on top of that, which is again basically what you start off with Cross Messiah with. Even if his is a heavy part, of course, you can still fit that into a team moderately well and still capitalize on any kind of possible Metaforce reliant nukes or high power skills you can make use of. That being said, for this very reason, I do very easily have to rate Samurai as the big MVP of the week to farm for, or at the very least collect the parts for and hold on to until a slower week comes around where you can put more time into investing in him. Flapper Kung Fu and Hip Hop Potentia both can be very solid in their own right, but just do be wary of the fact that both their arms in both bots are also heavy, which means that compared to Full Charge, which you can easily forgive being heavy, Break Hammer you might have to kind of figure it out and squeeze it in a little bit if you want to really make use of it in the team. Now, kind of spearheading the second wave of the event, we are also getting paid skins for Kaiser Grid and God Emperor, much like we did last week with full Power Grid and Parallel Deuce. This time around, Kaiser Grid, of course, is taking inspiration from the equally as titular name Kaiser Beetle with a red and white kit with gold canisters, and God Emperor is taking on a rather stark and vastly different appearance than what he normally packs, with more of a albino armor and gold accent kind of idea, which honestly he pulls off very well if I'm being completely real with you. It does feel kind of weird not seeing the iconic antenna on the back of his head, but that's honestly something that you really can kind of tune out after a while. But again, just to kind of highlight both of these skins, Kaiser Grid skin is a paid bundle, which means you will need to drop some IRL cash if you want to collect it, but in addition to the skin, you also get some nice rubies you can use toward gacha pulls. God Emperors, if it stays the same as Parallel Deuces as of last week, will be made available for a limited time in the convenience store in the skin shop, which means you need 100 diamonds to buy it. You can earn diamonds either by rewards, usually they toss them in the event store as well with events like this, you can buy it, or if you have them from previous pulls as pity rewards, you should also have a pretty solid stockpile of those to make use of as well. We also get Wave 2 of the SR Medarots that are going to be joining the game as well for a limited time. This time around, we are highlighting Shiden from Medarot Navi and Hikaru from the original Medarot 1 that has stuck around pretty much since the beginning. This time around, their collab skins, or essentially their cosplay, depending on how you look at it, Shiden is offering you a damage reduction of 10% upon activation and an evade buff of 60% if you are using flight legs, which means you will be much harder to touch or land a hit on, if not outright dodge the hit at all while active. Hikaru, on the other hand, for every use of a shooting skill, max up to 5 stacks, will buff your success by 300 and your heat by 100. This means that you not only will go progressively faster when prepping your shooting skills to the line, but you also will have a much higher likelihood of the hit landing, and on top of that being a critical hit on top of that, which may make him a very well sought after Medarotter to make use of and capitalize on if you do choose to go after them. Naturally, but because these are collab skins, you may want to consider and prioritize these over more conventional banners. Same can be said for the bots if you have the rubies to spare. With the event itself, Part 2 will officially be going underway this week as well, for even more rewards to be earned and found. This time around, for the second half, we have the opportunity to earn more rubies, more resources, and especially the big highlight rewards include Medarotter Kirara, also in the collab skin, but as R rank, which means it can still be collected by anyone that participates just for farming the event and making use of it. In addition to her, we also have the opportunity for a second collaboration medal, the monster medal in this case, with a mastery in shooting, healing, and setup, and a leg mastery in wield, tank, and float. And then last but not least, we also have the opportunity for a second commemorative profile banner that you can use on your plate to showcase and tell people that you participated in the event and just what you pulled out of it. Now, with much like last week as well, it will be ticket-based, so the mixed parts will be encouraged this time around, much like last week. This time around, we will be highlighting the red and gold ticket bonuses to highlight the second half of the event. The Gotcha banner models, Kaiser Beetle and God Emperor, will be giving you a +3 bonus per red ticket equipped on 1 bot each, which means if you equip 2 Kaiser Beetle parts, you still only get a single +3, not a +6, unfortunately. Fierce Battle bots, Flapper Kung Fu, Samurai, and Hip Hop Potentia will give you a +1 bonus when equipping a part, and Medarotters Hikaru, Shiden, Kirara, and Hisaki will give you a +1 but +2 red ticket bonus when equipped. Kaiser Grid will give you a +3 of the gold ticket bonus, naturally as the big shot and highlight model of the collab this week, while the SR versions of Hikaru and Shiden will give you a +3 of those, and the rare rank version of Kirara collab skin will give you a +1 of those as well. So again, mixed parts and mixed Medarotters are encouraged if you want to maximize your bonuses. So again, if you do manage to get lucky and collect Kaiser Grid, split its parts up across your 3 bots, and that's how you'll maximize a +3 gold ticket bonus per bot per round victorious in. Now, with the introduction of the second week as well, we are also getting a Super Invasion Cup to commemorate the collaboration as well. Naturally, the modifiers for these very likely will be very easy to obtain, as they are most likely just overclocked medals, which means you can go in with your best team and your go-to team and pretty much lay waste to them if you know what you're doing. Naturally, with overclocked medals, it will hit just a little bit harder than conventionally, but now that we can overclock medals ourselves as of the most recent patch update, that really should be of no trouble whatsoever. So best of luck to you, Medarotters, and make sure that you do participate in this and complete it, not only for the profile banner and the nameplate, but also for the 10 rubies you can earn upon completing all 3 rounds victoriously. Last but not least, in terms of game news, we do also have a teaser into the May online exhibition skins that we can earn as rewards through the month of May. This time around, we have the opportunity to earn Oriental Armor Samurai, Blue Festive Streamer Style Bastroyer, and Black Koi Mad Naturi. Now, Naturi we actually have not seen for a hot second, but is still a very nice skin and a very nasty fish type of melee fighter all the same. Bastroyer and Samurai are both fierce battles, which means they have very good chances of popping up every here and there, and, wouldn't you know it, Samurai will be coming in this week as a fierce battle, the same week that these skins drop for online PvE. So make sure that you do capitalize on at least participating in these so you can earn the points for them, because, as a reminder, this is a very, very lucrative opportunity to get a lot of very nice resources, rubies or ruby shards, in addition to the skins shown here. And of course, just as a reminder, you get points whether you win or you lose. So don't feel stressed to keep winning or worry too much if you have a losing streak, because you're still earning points for them all the same. On the community front, we are still always looking for translators, coders, and cleaners to assist us with any of our endeavor and passion projects. This includes Medarot 3, which is currently a little over 60% completed, Medarot Reloaded manga, which all chapters have been collected for, and Medarot 4, which only just started being decompiled to be prepared for cleaning and translating. Naturally, we do need translators more than anything else, so if you are knowledgeable in coding or cleaning or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any efforts that you'd be willing to provide and help see these projects to completion. Feel free to reach out to me or reach out in our Discord in the link provided below, and we can get you in touch with the right people to fill you in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point. Now, on the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I did have to kind of break the mold just a little bit, and I actually highlighted a screenshot from the official anime, primarily to highlight the weekly episode that went live this week, featuring, of course, everybody's favorite high-flying ace, Lady Jet, or as the English cast knows her as Femjet, and this time highlighting Navi's rather, oh boy, how do I put this nicely? Creative, I guess you can put it, equipping of light-based or parts to get him off the ground. I'm not sure how nicely I can put it, but just in case you guys need a laugh, here you are. Gonna be a trans cosplay, I'm not sure how else to put it, but take that as you will. And then, of course, this piece here by Twitter user Neko Neobam, I do hope I pronounced that correctly, my friend, highlighting actually a somewhat lesser-known model of the PLN series that Lady Jet comes from. This model here is actually Lady Jet's direct upgrade, Lady Booster, which performs basically the exact same features as Lady Jet in the later games that Lady Jet does not appear in or does not take as much of a role. So definitely give them a follow if you'd like to see more art in your feed, and definitely make sure you tune into the official Medarot channel to catch this week's episode as well, just to kind of watch them in order and enjoy your childhood and nostalgia. But with all that being said, I do believe that covers everything here on my weekly episode. And as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community on there. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below, and this allows you to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes my weekly episodes, fan art, passion projects, merchandise, new releases. That's the first place you're going to hear them before they go anywhere else. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at IsaGamiKura if you have any questions or feedback or comments, or would just love to stop in and say hello. I leave my DMs open for this very reason, and I don't see myself closing them anytime soon. So if you'd like to stop in and say hello, feel free to do so, and I'll get back to you when I can. In addition to this, if you are a streamer, YouTuber, Twitch streamer, or VTuber, and would love to collab with me, whether that be having me on your channel or you stopping in on mine, I would absolutely love to collaborate with you and coordinate that. So again, feel free to reach out to me, and we can try to make something happen and figure something out with a schedule. Lastly, definitely, I want to highlight the official Medarot pages on Twitter this time for this week for once, highlighting the official Medarot S page, which gives you the official news of the game first and foremost before I ever get it. And of course, the official Twitter page for Medarot at Medarotsha, which not only retweets and features the Medarot S related news, but also touches base on a lot of other things, such as manga updates, fan art occasionally, contests that are going on, or even new merchandise that drops on top of that. But with all that being said, once again, I do appreciate you all for stopping by, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Itagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.